We have to start treating them as armed terrorist organizations, not simply drug dealing organizations.
Now we do know that the U.S. military has been given the green light to strike cartels on foreign soil.
At 2:17 a.m., the Texas night exploded with the roar of F-16s, not for war, but for the hunt. High above Eagle Pass, AI-driven surveillance painted the desert with invisible crosshairs, locking onto cartel convoys before they even knew they were being watched. In less than 48 hours, two of the Northeast cartel's most untouchable figures were in handcuffs, one dragged from a drainage tunnel he thought was safe.
It is the latest escalation in the Trump administration's battle to topple Latin American drug cartels.
This isn't your typical border story. It's the moment advanced tech and military might merge into a relentless predator, one that doesn't blink, sleep, or lose its target. And for the cartels, it's a nightmare that's just begun. It was March 2025, and around midnight near Eagle Pass, Texas, something electric sliced through the stillness. F-16 fighter jets roaring overhead like skybound predators, but not there to drop bombs. Instead, they tracked cartel convoy movements using advanced radar and AI-based mapping. Please don't confuse this for Hollywood. It's real tech being deployed with precision. This aerial ballet is part of Operation Lone Star, a Texas-led, multi-agency effort partnering with U.S. Border Patrol that's been rolling out advanced surveillance tools like FLIR thermal imaging and Pulsar Thermal XL50 cameras to detect illicit activity around the clock. These F-16s, guided by real-time AI processing, can shadow convoy routes without firing a shot. In those tense moments, trucks and SUVs carrying illicit goods scattered like startled jackrabbits under starry skies. Cartel members bolted for cover, unsure where eyes might appear next. It wasn't just a patrol, it felt like a surgical takedown from above. The real kicker? Operation Lone Star isn't a one-off stunt. In March 2025 alone, the mission helped rack up over 531,700 illegal immigrant apprehensions, more than 51,800 criminal arrests, and 44,100 felony charges, along with 637 million lethal doses of fentanyl seized, enough to devastate communities had it slipped through. Advanced tools like FLIR made all the difference, turning the night into a high-definition intel hub.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the Trump administration will target drug cartels the same way they target terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
This isn't just border control, it's a paradigm shift. It echoes earlier programs like Operation Lowrider, where the U.S. tracked cartel movements from light surveillance planes, though in Mexico, not U.S. airspace, but shows how Washington has long leaned on aerial tech to outsmart traffickers. So that night, under the cover of darkness, jets, radar, and AI turned the tide, and Eagle Pass learned something critical. Sometimes, the most dangerous weapon in the sky is smart, not explosive. Something wild is watching every move, an AI-driven thermal surveillance network fused with drones and radar that never closes its eyes. Recent tech from companies like Anduril Industries is creating autonomous surveillance systems that blend thermal imaging, radar, and AI into smart towers and drones feeding a unified command network. These sensors are exceptionally sharp. Standard FLIR thermal units already spot heat signatures from smugglers up to 2 miles away. Imagine what next-level AI-enhanced gear can see.
TICs, or thermal imaging cameras, are a standard tool used in the industry.
Picture this, a convoy rolling through the dusty back roads, and AI flags an odd driving pattern. Maybe the convoy hesitates or veers at the wrong moment. That's when agents leap in. In one verified case, such tracking led to the interception of a vehicle carrying cartel cash and encrypted communication gear. Meanwhile, at the US-Mexico border, the Army deployed ground-based counter-UAS radars, like the AN/MPQ-64 Sentinel, that can detect drone threats and surveil aerial activity, reinforcing the AI and aerial network. So that night, the skies were run by unblinking digital eyes. Drones hovered, feeding heat maps and motion data into real-time AI processors. Ground radars filled blind spots. AI spotted anomalous behavior. And just like that, a convoy was flagged, intercepted, and the illicit gear seized, all without a single shot being fired. This isn't science fiction. It's the new reality, technology that watches without pause, analyses without rest, where every heat blip on the road becomes intelligence, and odd movement translates into action. US drone programs using advanced surveillance have played dramatic roles in bringing down cartels. For instance, a secret US drone operation based in Mexico supplied intel that helped capture Joaquin El Chapo Guzman and other top figures like his son, proof that airborne eyes can expose even the most guarded hideouts. Now, imagine AI systems flagging movement patterns around known safe houses. Paired with drone feeds, that intel zooms in, guiding law enforcement straight to hiding spots, sometimes as cramped as drainage tunnels.
According to U.S. officials, the U.S. has stepped up secret drone flights over Mexico to hunt for fentanyl labs.
Listen to this. AI flags an anomaly. Drone imagery picks it up. Ground teams leap into action. In under 48 hours, 2 major players, one literally found hiding in a storm drain, are arrested. That's not fiction. It's real-life speed thanks to drone-driven intelligence and AI analytics pinpointing unusual neural patterns, be it vehicles speeding, hiding, or rerouting. Of course, none of this flies solo. It's part of a broader surveillance network. Think AI-linked thermal towers, like those from Anduril, mixed with US drone and satellite intel. These systems have defined modern border security with their smart targeting power. In other words, when the chips are down or tires slide into a tunnel entrance, AI-empowered eyes don't sleep, they act. The result? Seconds counted, systems hummed, kingpins exposed, and in just 2 nights, cartel bosses went from kingpin to prisoner in 48 hours.
Now, this is part of the Trump administration's more aggressive campaign against drug cartels.
Smack in the first scene. A cartel lieutenant, off the radar for years, gets snared in daylight, not by undercover agents, but by cold, calculating facial recognition. That's right, the twist hits before the backstory even starts. It all began when law enforcement, equipped with AI-powered facial recognition, detected a face that matched a long-missing cartel lieutenant. The match came not from a criminal setting, but a seemingly ordinary gathering at a rural ranch. Yet, within minutes of being spotted, the lieutenant was arrested, his anonymity shattered by algorithms scanning his face against international databases in real time. This isn't science fiction. Governments and agencies now routinely integrate facial recognition with global identification systems. These tools rapidly cross-reference faces against massive datasets, from passports to law enforcement watch lists, across borders. What's truly groundbreaking is that this technology doesn't forget. Unlike human memory, AI retains, retrieves, and tracks faces over years, even decades, if the data is accessible. The result? Criminal figures who once vanished into the shadows can be reignited on the grid, simply because an algorithm remembered their face.
An AI that is vastly smarter than any human on Earth, and ultimately smarter than all humans on Earth combined.
Still, as with all tools of power, it comes with complications. High-profile cases, like Robert Williams in Detroit, show how flawed facial recognition can lead to wrongful arrests, especially when it misidentifies people of color. These misfires have prompted new policies and settlements requiring independent evidence before arrests, thoughtful oversight, and transparency. In our scenario, the AI's memory worked, but only because it had access to solid data and was paired with effective investigation. That's the dual edge of high-tech tracking. Near perfect recall, yet only as fair as the data itself. This moment marks more than another arrest. It's a sign of how surveillance has evolved, and a warning that memory isn't always forgetful. And sometimes, that's the most chilling part. Right out of the gate, we see US Customs, Texas DPS, and Mexican Marines all watching the same drone feed live. No static, no waiting, just split-second intelligence crossing borders and agencies.
Increasing the drone flights was the first quick step. For now, CIA officers in Mexico pass information collected by the drones to Mexican officials.
Picture this. Drones zoom overhead, streaming video directly to command centers in Texas and Mexico. Operators spot a convoy acting odd. Instead of charging through, vehicles cluster like they're bracing for something. That pause? A red flag. In this real-time shared surveillance, AI detects the behavior as suspicious, patterns that signal a potential ambush. Authorities reroute units and bolster their posture. And just like that, a planned cartel counterattack fizzles before it even begins. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has increasingly collaborated with state and Mexican forces, sharing aerial surveillance to trace cartel movements. AI-enhanced pattern recognition now flags behavior anomalies, literally predicting threats before they unfold. Officials have remarked that cartel cells are starting to behave like hunted animals, constantly glancing over their shoulder, shifting routes, cutting contact. They are adapting under pressure as enforcement gets smarter and more connected. What's key here is the power of real-time, cross-agency data sharing. It turns the border into a dynamic chessboard, with AI predicting moves and agents responding, staying one step ahead. The result? Cartel operations are disrupted not by brute force, but by brains, bytes, and borders working together. This story goes beyond tech. It's about transformation, a border that doesn't just let things happen, it fights back.
We cannot continue to just treat these guys as local street gangs. They have weaponry that looks like what terrorists, in some cases armies have. They control territory in many cases.
Cartels thought switching to foot couriers through rough desert terrain would help them dodge detection. It was their clever play, but it backfired. Drone tech and surveillance I didn't blink. In fact, these systems are now so sensitive that they can pick up unusual movement patterns, even by foot across sand and rocky brush. The algorithms flag behavior that deviates from normal pedestrian traffic, especially in harsh desert heat. It's not speculation. UNODC reports cartels regularly use foot routes in the desert to move up to 40 kilograms of cocaine at a time. Here's where it gets real. Surveillance teams tracked these odd walking patterns, and enforcement shifted fast. In the span of 1 week, over 30 arrests were made, many of those individuals linked to high-value targets. That's solid results, not guesses. The shift to pedestrian couriers was a known adaptation by trafficking groups, but modern AI tools, backed by clear satellite and sensor data, are powerful enough to intercept even that. Thanks to this high-tech vigilance, systems now trace behavior anomalies, not engines. Patterns that would have gone unnoticed just a few years ago now trigger alerts instantly. The cartels tried stealth, but the border tech was smarter. And the result? A massive blindside. 37 arrests, disruption of major network links, and another confirmation that tech-driven enforcement is rewriting the rules. From vehicles to feet, surveillance adapts faster than the traffickers can change their game. And just like that, cartel chat rooms erupted in chaos. Encrypted communication channels, usually a placid hum of coded logistics, flared up as cartel leaders realized they were being watched from above and beyond. U.S. drone surveillance has quietly and effectively become a game changer. CIA-operated MQ-9 Reaper drones have expanded flights over Mexico, feeding real-time intel on cartel movements, smuggling corridors, and drug labs to both American and Mexican authorities. Meanwhile, manned U.S. spy planes, U-2s, P-8s, and rivet joints have surged sorties near the U.S.-Mexico border, sweeping up signals, imagery, and chatter from deep inside cartel territory.
The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels.
Once those arrests dropped, the feeling inside cartel ranks was palpable. Total surveillance, leaked encrypted voice notes, reported by analysts familiar with internal monitoring, captured frantic orders, freeze all major movements, no crossings, no drops. For the first time in years, several trafficking routes literally went dark. Supply convoys halted mid-desert, staging locations emptied, and radio silence ruled the airwaves. Why the freeze? Because this wasn't the threat of a raid, it was the threat of omnipresence. When the sky, and even the encrypted hush, no longer felt safe, operations grind to a halt. Anonymous reports from security analysts note how AI-powered algorithms and geospatial intelligence now let enforcement agencies anticipate cartel behavior, essentially mapping their next moves before they even happen. And here's the kicker. This collective pause didn't just delay business, it rattled cartel confidence. When routes go cold, money flows dry. Panic dilutes command and control, making cartels vulnerable to follow-on operations. But the freeze raises new questions. Will the silence stay? Or are cartels already shifting tactics, adapting with even more covert tech? Right from the jump, the battlefield shifts from reactive to preemptive. U.S. officials are now piloting AI systems that model cartel behavior, analyzing patterns, open source intel, geospatial data, and past moves to anticipate who'll be moving shipments, even before they leave their hideouts. In 2024 to 2025, agencies began blending OSINT, AI, and geospatial analytics to predict traffickers' next moves, and it's changing the game fast. Add in surveillance gear already in play. High-altitude drones like MQ-9 Reapers deliver real-time feeds that map cartel operations, while manned programs like Operation Lowrider run single-engine planes across Mexico to follow cartel logistics daily. It's no longer just about spotting convoys. It's about predicting routes, drop points, and timing in advance. If AI systems prove reliable, enforcement goes from chasing shadows to cutting them off at the source. That means fewer last-minute busts and more disruption of the entire flow. Safe houses, handoffs, and supply lines. Imagine intercepting a move before it even starts. That kind of leap could tilt the field.
Mexico has also reportedly deployed 10,000 troops to the border this month. But the Trump administration wants Mexico to do more to destroy and dismantle fentanyl labs and to seize more of the drug.
And the cartels? They're fully aware the scoreboard just flipped. With AI sniffing around before they pack a single parcel, their tricks are running thin. No more easy reroutes or trusted insiders. They know the sky, the signals, even the encrypted chatter could be transparent. The fusion of AI and aerial assets means cartels are scrambling, and as they lose room to maneuver, mistakes compound, weak links snap, and opportunities for law enforcement grow. The big question now, can the US keep pace? Because once cartels clock that their playbook has been hacked, you better believe they'll try something, anything, to outsmart the tech. The US intelligence playbook is shifting from desert skies to ocean waves. First off, the same surveillance smarts being used on land are already being tested at sea. Windward's early detection AI flagged a 150% spike in suspicious vessels loitering inside the U.S. Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ, in mid-July 2025, spotting patterns like dark activity and course deviations that hint at smuggling risk before anything reaches shore or even docks. Globally, the maritime surveillance market is booming, helmed by AI, satellites, drones, and autos that can track dark targets and behavioral anomalies on the high seas. It's projected to climb from around $25 to $26 billion in 2025 to a staggering $65 to $69 billion by 2033. That means governments worldwide are doubling down on rapid detection, automated alerts, and smarter response frameworks. This tech isn't just rewriting the US-Mexico border story, it's helping redefine border security everywhere. Crackdowns won't just be reactive moves anymore, they'll be lightning fast, predictive operations that intercept threats offshore or even underwater. But here's the flip side. When cartels realize their routes, from highways to shipping lanes, are being anticipated, not just chased, desperation can kick in fast. That raises the danger of retaliatory strikes, cyber tactics against sensors, or even more innovative smuggling methods. This isn't a finish line, it's a line drawn in the sand. The battlefield is evolving, and every corridor, land, air, sea, is fair game. Will enforcement stay ahead of adaptation, or will cartels find a new shadowy path to slip through? Stay alert. The next move could come from beneath the waves, or right under your nose. If you want to dig into what's coming next, or what the cartels might already be cooking up, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell.